It's story time!
Breaking news, time for the news. Everybody loves to hear the news. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the important news. Welcome to the Important News Show live with me, Ashley Storrie. A Russian man who joined a boy band competition show on Chinese TV on a whim but quickly regretted his decision has finally been released from the show after 3 months. Can you believe that? The show is supposed to create a boy band out of loads of different creatives. He was a translator on the show, got on the show and then quickly realised that he didn't like it. They took away their phones, they took away their ability to leave the house, they took away his ability to do anything. He was like, no, I don't like this. But for some reason that sparked something within Chinese culture and they absolutely loved it. He was propelled through 3 months of competition and 10 episodes plus supplemental digital content. A fan base which had taken his grumpy anti-celebrity persona, or were perhaps driven by schadenfreude, urged each other to vote for him and said let him 996, which is a reference to China's digital industry culture of chronic overwork, 9am till 9pm 6 days a week. Others called him the most miserable wage slave and celebrated him as an icon of sang culture, which I think is like sanguine, a Chinese millennial concept of having a defeatist attitude towards life, where it's like the guy who's always like, oh, it's so bad and everything sucks. I thought maybe we could have a little listen. Sad Russian sitting here in China wishing I could go home with my brain. I don't have a tie or a shirt, wearing a jacket with nothing underneath. My chest hurts and my nipples are chafed. Going to get a big strafe. Life is hard, feeling like a goth. Oh no, I'm a moth. It's a light bulb. I want to fly towards it. I'm a moth. I like it. I don't know why. I'm the moth man. Here's my prophecy. I'm a moth. Moth boy. Sad, sad moth boy. Eating all your wool. I'm a sad, sad moth boy. Look at my wings. Flitter, flutter, flutter. Moth in a bitter, butter, butter. Oh no, I'm eating up wool. I don't know why. I should have stayed in school. I'm a moth boy. A moth man. A moth person. Hashtag me too. He was eventually voted out in the final episode, which aired on Saturday. I'm finally getting off work, he posted on his Weibo account the next day. Hashtag mothboy number 1. Reports of a captive Russian from Vladivostok being held prisoner on a Chinese reality show had led to an online campaign at home for Ivanov to be released from his contract, which bloggers coined Free Lelouch. Free Lelouch! That is our first news story of the day. Our second news story comes from Washtenaw County. A 250-foot long wall divides 2 properties in Lodi Township. It's a smelly fence that Wayne Lambert said his farmer neighbour built after the dispute. Essentially, there has been a fight about where the land ends and where the land begins, and a neighbour has built a fence out of poop.
It's just cow poop smell.
It's just cow poop smell.
Poop, especially if you live on a farm.
I like how they say poop.
But the cow poop is not really coming from the cows. Well, it is, but it's also coming from this.
It's just a shit pile over there.
Well, we'll just call it a poop. Wayne might be complaining about the poop, but I think it's...
I'm in love with this man. This man is absolutely adorable. Please tell me he's not like some sort of a bad guy, because look at this guy's wee face. I don't think I'm a poophole. I'm a poophole. I don't like the price of milk. What the fuck is that got to do with anything? What's the price of milk got to do with anything? Is that not a saying? Last time I did the news, remember I did it about the Bachelor guy 2 weeks ago? It turns out he's like a bad guy. So is Neil deGrasse Tyson. So, are you problematic? Can I search Charlie Langton Fox News problematic? Problematic was an autofill. He doesn't seem problematic. No files on him, just the poop wall. Good on Charlie. There we go. Isn't that exciting? I'm going to talk about something and I'm going to try and be very sensitive because it is something about, it is a sensitive subject. But I didn't know this was a problem, okay? A man in Jerusalem who has worked for years as a rabbi and raised his family in an ultra-Orthodox community has been accused of faking his religion to mask his true identity as a Christian missionary from New Jersey. Beinanu, an organisation that monitors missionary activity in Israel, said the man wore traditional ultra-Orthodox clothes and even performed marriage ceremonies for Jewish couples to hide the bitter truth that he secretly sought to convert Jewish people. So there is an organisation specifically within Israel to make sure that Christian missionaries aren't sneaking in to try and convert Jewish people to Christianity. Like, I didn't know that was like a problem that warranted having an investigative body. Once there, she said, he assimilated into the ultra-Orthodox community and began a new life there, but one apparently full of lies. Many in Israel see the conversion of Jews as a threat to the relatively small global population as well as their majority demographic status within the country. It's like, for me, it's just like different. There's Christian missionaries, there's people who go with their Bibles and their suits and go, have you heard the good word about God? But this is somebody who's lived for 7 or more years as an Orthodox Jewish man who's done weddings, who has a family and a wife, like a sleeper cell, like a Christian sleeper cell in Israel. So weird. It's not like an easy thing to pretend to be. That's a really big role to commit to. What a weird... I genuinely thought that was so weird. Let's move on to 19-year-old Madison Cohout signed for an apartment after finding it online prior to her move from Oklahoma to Arkansas, but she had no idea what she'd signed up for. The teen lived in her new home for a week, confused as to why all the neighbours were all over the age of 65 before she stumbled across a sign explaining she was actually in a senior living community. Whenever I get home, it's usually super quiet because most of my neighbours are asleep by the time I got home. She went on to say that one major perk about the apartment is that she can play music whenever she wants because some of them can't hear. I think it'd be quite nice. I think it would be a nice place to live, especially as a teenager. Pretty safe for your first home. There's worse places than a bunch of nice old people. Old people always have their eye out the curtain making sure you're safe. I am all for this. I think this is cute, but that's not all the news. We've got some more news. We've got some big federal news. A woman has been arrested and charged for a crime she committed 21 years ago. This is a felony embezzlement case. This is a huge, huge issue. 21 years ago, she rented Sabrina the Teenage Witch on video and she did not return it. And this criminal is being brought to justice. 21 years. Well, I never.
But never knew about the charges until recently when trying to change her name on her license after getting married.
They told me that I had an issue in Oklahoma, and this was the reference number for me to call this number, and I did. Meanwhile, I'm a wanted felon.
A wanted felon. One of my favourite things about the whole article, however, was that she said, I didn't try to deceive anyone over Samantha the Teenage Witch. Samantha the Teenage Witch. I've never watched Samantha the Teenage Witch. I'm a Christian woman. I don't believe in witchcraft. I do not believe in Satan's television. Final news. This is more just for me because I'm upset by it. Randy Swinger's secret ice lolly signal you need to be wary of in holiday in the UK. So apparently if you've got a sticker of a fab in the window of your caravan, it means you're a swinger. Swingers are using fab lolly wrappers to signal to fellow wife swappers on holiday. Randy campers stick pictures of the tree in a window to let others know they're ready to romp. The ruse was inspired by popular adult website Fab Swingers. Lusty campers posted on a Facebook page called Fab Camping and Motorhomes. One curious newcomer asked, do you all have stickers or something to say we're swingers? How do you let other people know? Another was quick to show him the ropes and wrote, we have Fab Lollipop stickers on our camper. And another called Ivan said, Fab Ice Cream stickers on my van. Swinger Ann shared a snap of her own Fab banner stuck to the window with drips of condensation running down it. She wrote, like us. I just can't believe that's the go-to. So don't have a sticker of a Fab Ice Lolly in your window unless you want Beth and Brian turning up trying to lick your butthole. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the news. Now a message from our sponsors. Hi friends, you can help support this channel by going to ashleystorieshop.co.uk and getting yourself some of my cool merch that says like nice buns or you're excellent or nice to meet you. Or you can share it with a friend or you can like and subscribe, whatever you fancy. Thank you for watching.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Ashley.
And you can listen to our podcast
Are We Being Unreasonable?
On Apple Podcasts
And Spotify. Go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts now and subscribe to Are We Being Unreasonable for great, funny conversations with your favourite comedians.